If I told you that you can have $1 million and all you have to do is open your hand and hold it out, would you take it? Would you open your hand and reach out and take the money directly from you? If I told you it was going to be a check, or if I told you that it was going to be straight cash and I gave you the briefcase and it's all the money you're going to need is $1 million, just open your hand. The suicide prevention Lifeline has made it just that easy. You just simply have to open your hand, reach out, and accept the help. And they made it so easy that they've shortened the number to 988, just 3 digits. 3 digits can give you an opportunity to get help. 3 digits, 988. I know that things are not perfect. They are not ideal, and they're not in line with the way you want things to go for your life. But I want you to know that your life has value. It means something. It matters to so many people, to so many family members and friends who enjoy every aspect of you, your jokes, your smile, your laugh, your frown. Every part of you matters. And all it takes is 3 digits to get you there. And for some reason, for some odd, strange reason, you just don't have it in you. You just don't know if you can do it. And you need somebody to talk to because you're not ready to take that step. Then reach out to me. Any of my social media feeds with a simple message, we need to talk. And I would do everything in my power to get to you. You could put a message in the video that says we need to talk Lions football, whatever it is. We need to talk, need to be at the start of it, and I will become your greatest ally. You do not have to go at this alone. So before you do something that we have to live with, before we do something that we have to try to wrap our heads around, do something that not only you can live with, but we all can live with and work through it together. Now let's talk football. What's going on, Pride Nation? I am back at it again, boy. When I tell you it's hard being out here in these streets alone, it's rough. I have been dying on the inside to talk some Detroit Lions football, and it's almost like the universe works in strange ways. I'm going to be covering a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to be covering the media hype train. I'm going to be covering training camp. I'm going to be covering all the people who decided to send me a clip of a player who's not a Lion, as if though that clip represents what that player is. We're going to have some fun with it today. I am going to be addressing your questions, and if I don't do anything else, I am going to entertain you in any aspect that I can. Feel free to jump in and tell me I'm full of crap. I am beyond hyped to be back, and I love it. It's one of the reasons why I chose this particular picture with the huddle, because this is where you get together where it's just you and your people, where y'all get a chance to check in and see how everybody is doing. And when I see you in the chat lighting it up, my spirit rages unbeknownst to the world. People, welcome back. We are not that far away from some real football, and we are really getting things going with the whole entire training camp. But you know me, people. I can't do it alone. I need somebody to roll with me every now and then, and I like to have a little bit of company. Today, I got my other co-host in the building, Lions Rumble 81. What it do, sir?
What's going on, Luke, man? Thank you for having me, as always.
See, I gave you a quick test. I wanted you to check me. I said, what it do? That's an ATL thing. We say what up though. Where we
from.
We
do say what up though.
Yeah. You put to check me and said, nah, we don't want to know what it do. It's what up though. Man, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm enjoying life right now, man. We had rain. We're it's kind of humid here right now, which I don't mind.
Join the club.
What I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm juiced, man. Welcome back, man.
Listen, the goal is just kind of, I'm going to have to structure this a little bit different, people. I'm going to have to try to find ways to mix in pre-recorded videos with the live shows because of how my job is and the fact that people don't want to work. I do not understand this. But it is what it is. And until I can get things in my favor, this is the way I got to roll. But let's see who's in the building with us today. My man, Dr. Detroit says, about damn time. I know, it's been a while. Looney Tunes in the building. Chrome is in the building. Dr. Pepperoni, who says Luke really knows how to just pop up out of the blue. I've been plotting. You know, I've been in the lab with a pen and a pad. You know, we got my man Super Saiyan Lion in the building. One funky Lion fan. I'm not a hacker in the building. We got you're not dead. No, thank God. Brandon Blockton says, Luke G, we needed your football talk. Now let's talk football. Yeah, it was a lot to talk about. I just couldn't get to it. I really do. My man Barbary Lion says, hey Luke, it's about time. Joseph Osteen says, Luke G live. My man, I always pronounce this wrong, but it's Let's Go Brandlin. I hope I said that right. He says, yo, what up, Luke? What up, Doe? Craig Bevins is in the building. In the Mix is in the building. Who gives me the yo, Luke? Let me see. Make sure if you in here, man, put it in there. I want to see who with me, man. Marcus Willis is in the building. Real Detroit Lions fan. Man, my family's up in the building. What up, Doe? BD Buster is in the building. Let me make sure I ain't missing nobody now. We got my man Makai Holt in the building. William Birch, my other co-host, who was like, hey, now y'all don't know this. William is a hard-working young man who's out here getting this work in, and who knows, and it may be in the very near future, we're going to see him on somebody's sideline putting in that work, and I'm going to still be calling him, harassing him for the hell of it, but he's out here getting things ready for his training camp that he's doing with his football thing, so shout out to him. We got my man Jacob Burnley in the building. What up, though? Listen, we having fun today. First thing first, I want y'all to be aware that this is not going to be a show of triggering, but I'm going to probably trigger a few of you because some of y'all have lost y'all mind and some of y'all are buying too much into the media. Now, one of the things that I got to address off rip is the amount of people who sent me messages either via DM, Instagram, or Twitter, or email, or in Discord with a small clip of Kyle Hamilton getting beat in practice. And all I did was laugh. I laughed because we do this so often. I had the same thing happen to me when we decided to take TJ Hockenson versus Ed Oliver and Devin Bush. And I just said, okay, it's going to boil down to the long haul, not that moment. But because of that, you opened up a can of worms, and nothing's going to come out of me but the truth. Rumble, have you seen the clip of one Mr. Kyle Hamilton getting beat in practice?
Yeah, I have seen it.
You did?
It. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
It was pretty cool.
Okay.
You know.
Shout out to Blue Jay Sarge and Mars Moon and my man Ghost Gunner. Now, okay, let me just get to this. I want people to understand something. He was in a drill to get better, and they had him as a safety in press coverage against a wide receiver. How often you think you're going to see a safety in press coverage against a wide receiver and they're not on the goal line?
That's it. Just, in that goal line.
Yeah,
That's it.
I don't know if that's the exact case to go. But when we did this, it brought me to this point where I watched the entire time of training camp where the media and fans alike were hyping up our particular draft pick, the second overall pick, Aiden Hutchinson. Now, here come people think I'm finna hate, but I'm just finna put things in perspective. Okay? So, did you read any of the headlines, Rumble, where they were talking about how he just looked like a man amongst boys and he was doing all this work and he was killing them? Did you see that?
Of course.
You saw that? You know what I found intriguing about all of that? They didn't have on pads. Interesting. They didn't have on pads. And not only did they not have on pads, okay, I thought you was locked up in YouTube pen. Nah. Not only did they not have on pads, I thought that the advertisement was overblown. I thought it was too much. And many people wanted me to react to it, but I can't react to a person doing stuff in gym shorts. I don't care. But what happened on the very first day, aka Monday, when they put on pads? Did you hear any stories about this man amongst boys when the pads came on?
No. I heard very humble and experienced.
Very humble experience. Did you hear how he basically got his butt handed to him?
I did hear
by
that.
Not only Taylor Decker and not only some of the other linemen, but essentially he couldn't do nothing with Sewell. You remember that?
I do.
Okay. Did you also read or see the clip where TJ Hockenson put him on his ass?
I haven't seen the clip, but I did read that.
You read that too?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I bring all these things up because the reality is this. Everything is different when the pads are on. So why am I bringing this up? That's what somebody might be saying, Luke. Like, that's not fair. What do you think? The reality is it's in practice. If he's going to get his butt whooped, it needs to happen in practice. If you're going to send me a clip of a guy to prove a point, then guess what? I'd rather see it happen in practice. There's going to be games where Aiden Hutchinson is going to get mauled, and I'm going to say, you know what? If he gets better throughout the game, who cares? Everybody's entitled to a few bad plays here and there. But what I don't like is how they hyped it up. Another thing I noticed was the hype train behind Malcolm Rodriguez. And even with the pads on, they were still pushing this Malcolm Rodriguez agenda, which to me is ludicrous because he was doing it against like fourth and fifth string guys. And don't get me wrong, I want to give him credit for doing what he should have did. But I'll be damned if we ain't gonna act like he finna take nobody's spot. Wake me up when in September get here and he got somebody's spot on the field. Then we can talk about it. But in the meantime, I'm not seeing anything. And then you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm not seeing anything where he's threatening to take somebody's spot. Did you see anything that happened to have that?
No, I just hear, the same rhetoric of, rookie, he's hungry, he's there to prove. And like you said, he's making those third and fourth stringers realize that he's there. So those are the people he's competing with right now. But they say he's moving up the depth chart, which I could probably see that in that case where it's third and fourth stringers. Yeah, I could see that.
Now, to me, while they're hyping all that up, the biggest news came out today. Okay. And that news was delivered by our defensive coordinator. But I want to answer this question from Brandon really quick. He says, Luke, what do we do about the backup quarterbacks? If Goff goes down, that's our season. That's how it's supposed to be in most cases. Generally, you don't generally have an adequate backup. And if you do, that's great. That's fine. But we don't want to get caught up in that. We know we need a backup quarterback. Brad Holmes is aware we need better quarterback play. We can't beat the dead horse to death on it. It's got to get better. And our only hope and thing of it all is we hope that time do come. And if it does, then great. And if it don't, then great. We still have to be better than what we're allowed at this point. So that's what I'm saying. But back to my man's, okay? Back to the man, Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn came out and had some very interesting words. And whether I think it was fan service or not, I thought that it was very intriguing. He declares the starting cornerback spot between Jeff Okudah and Will Harris officially open.
I love it.
What are your thoughts on that, Rumble?
I love it, man. These coaches want players here who are going to perform, and as they want a product. It goes back to Sheila Foreham's letter to the fans a few years back. They want a product on the field that represents not only the city, but is good enough to compete with the rest of the league. So I love the fact that this coaching core does not matter where the hell you got drafted. If you don't perform, there's a door. They want the best man available for that position. So I'm all for it. I am all for it. We've had this discussion before about Okudah. It's not his fault he got drafted where he did. But at the same time, you've been here long enough to know that you were drafted for a reason. So you have to be the shining example for that position. And I don't think he's whatever head games is going on with him. I just don't think he's that guy, man. I think he's a glorified slot corner. He's not Batman. He is Robin. He does not want to be the guy that they have to game plan against. He just wants to be in the mix. And
okay.
I'm saddened by that, but reality sets in, and that's what we're seeing right now.
I know that there was a clip out there where some people were divided on if it was a bad play by the cornerback or if it was a good pass and catch from the quarterback to receiver. And in my opinion, I viewed it as simply a bad play by the cornerback, and that's just my view. Shout out to my man, Master of Himself. I love that. That's a perfect name because that's the reality. He who masters themselves is the most wisest of them all. So there's no better master than you mastering yourself. So shout out to that name, man. What up, though? But the thing that caught my attention was not the fact that it's an open competition, but it's an open competition with who? A former safety turned cornerback. Now, all I've been hearing up to this point is he's ahead of schedule. He's doing so great. He's got his feet underneath him. He's eager to prove it and show it and all this other stuff. And you in a battle with a guy that was drafted to be a safety who then turned cornerback?
Man, what a difference coaches can bring, man. It's
crazy. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it just goes to show that one came in ready to learn the position. The other one came in just thinking that the position was already his. And I love the fact that he's getting exposed right now. Call me what you will, but Luke, you and I, we played the game before. When your number's called, you don't want to be that guy that is the reason why your team loses or the reason why the guys on the field have to watch your back or just pick up your slack. You want to be the reason that they succeed, and you want to be the guy that has to pick up the slack, especially him being drafted so high. So he looks a little rigid. I'm not gonna lie. He looks very rigid for a starting corner. He looks very rigid. And I'm with you as far as that clip goes, man. This is practice, and you're getting burnt like that in practice against Josh Reynolds. You should be dominating out there right now. And I get it. You injured, yada, yada, but man, not a starter quarter.
Plus, what I didn't like was I'm still seeing some of the things I pointed out in the video I made years ago, which is you're in press position, but you're not putting hands on the receiver. You get 5 yards to beat them up. Escort them off the field. And you're giving free releases. But the reality is, if he's going to do this stuff, do it in practice.
Yes.
My problem is, and I agree with Ghost Gunner, if Will Harris is our cornerback too, we in trouble because what do you do with Okuda? What do you like? You know what I mean? Like, is Hughes not available no more? What the hell happened? Like, I'm at a point where I don't like the idea that he has to battle with this person, and it makes me upset that he has to. But it's also like, again, it is practice, as pointed out by my man Dr. Paparoni. Practice, not a game, but practice. True, but you practice what you preach, and you preach what you practice. And if you are not putting hands on people early, then that means you're not doing it early at all. So I mean, to me, you have to be technical sound when doing practice. I mean, you agree with that, right? Like Rumble?
Absolutely, man. I agree with you, man. You're impressed. Right now is the time that you can hold and you can do all the things that might be on your brain. And then guess what? You're going to get correction from those defensive back specialists who are former players. They're going to tell you, okay, hey, you know what? You held a little too much. You held a little too much here. Hey, you know what? It's like, do all that now in practice. What better time to do all that now in practice as opposed to doing it in the game when they're going to need you and depend on you to be out there to make a play, not to make a bad play to put your defense in a bad position, but to make a play to uplift your defense. So I'm right there with you, man. Like we've played this game. You've played it at a much higher level than I have, but you know how important it is to have those guys. You don't want him having hands on him 10 yards down the field. Like bump him off his route immediately. Bump him off his route. Insert your dominance right there at the line, like you said, that press coverage. Bump him off his route. Boom. If he falls flat on his face, guess what? You won. You ain't got to worry about chasing him. You know. But then he has to realize, like, ooh, this dude's a little strong. Now in his head, he's like, that's it right there. That's half the battle. So I'm right there with you, man.
Plus, when you look at it, like I said, it's practice. Again, I want people to understand it's practice. And as things go on, you start to see this. The biggest things that I'm looking for in practice is not how well you're doing in practice, but who is surviving practice. And then today, we had an injury. In case you did not hear, wide receiver Quintez Cephas had to be had to be
Yeah.
walked off the field or carried off, or however you want to word it. But he
Man.
hurt. He hurt. And I think it's bad for him because this is his chance to kind of nail his spot. But now that they done brought back another commodity in McKinley, a guy who they took as an undrafted free agent, or I think they drafted. I can't remember how it went at this moment, but I remember he was on our team before, and they brought Javon McKinley back. And my thing is this, right now we need for 3 key players to survive at the receiving position, which is Amon-Ra St. Brown, really 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, and Reynolds and Chark. You need them to survive because you already don't have Williams, and if Cephas is out for a long period of time, we really in trouble. Shout out to the family, my man Ryder did a video recently, not too long ago, a hype video, and it was so well done. Kudos to him. It was very amazing. And I was like, yo, it got me going. I was very excited to see it. So shout out to him. Shout out to my man Dan Spanos, Dr. Detroit, and my man's Blue Jay Sarge. My man's out in the building, rocking with us. I gotta pay some bills, man, because I still rock with it. So I am on different streaming platforms, but all of this is brought to you by Man Hour. Man Hour does have a YouTube channel where they talk about all sports, including all baseball, all basketball, all football teams. They cover it all. You're gonna get some hot takes, you can get some raw takes, some things put out there, and you ain't gotta agree with it. You ain't gotta necessarily buy into it, but I can promise you one thing: you will be entertained, you will be enjoying it. And if you are in the building with Man Hour, then you are in the building with me, because I rock with Man Hour and we do videos together. So there's going to be some round tables going on over there and in here where I'm talking to some NFC North rivals and some things like that. So that should be fun. But for the most part, man, please check out the Man Hour. They are on everything, including Roku. So you can even hear me now on Roku. Ain't that cool? Go to your Roku and hit the podcast and boom, Man Hour pops up and you will hear me talking. Let's get it. Another thing that jumped out to me on top of the injuries is how far or how much the media is pushing the narrative that the offense is so far ahead of the defense. And I'm like, great. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear that the defense is better than the offense, because to me, that's a serious problem. And it's a problem because the offense should be ahead of the defense. The offense has had more time to gel. The defense is changing from a 3-4 to a 4-3. And if I had heard that this defense was doing better than the offense, I'm questioning the offensive coordinator immediately. I'm questioning the offense. So for the fans who are out there listening and they're like, hey, this stuff, they're like, hey, this stuff happened. It sucks because this is not what you want to happen. This is not what you are looking for. You want the defense to have growing pains. You want for Aiden Hutchinson to get his feelings hurt in practice. Again, the key word is practice. I got to keep saying that repeatedly because I know sometimes people don't understand that it's practice, not a game. As AI and Doctor pointed out, it's not a game, it's practice. But to me, the defense should be behind. I mean, they're making some serious adjustments. Now, in terms of the hype that's coming out of the training camp, there was 3 things that stood out to me the most. And one of them was something that was very underrated, but I thought it was something that I hope resonate with the players. And I don't know if you heard this or not, Rumble, but it was the speech given in the huddle, which I believe it was by Jamal Williams, when he said, I want teams to come in here, look back, realize the door is locked, and they locked in here with us. All right. And we're going to F and let them know we're going to be here all day. And I loved every moment of it because it lets me know that they still have the fight, the drive to be better. It lets me know that they are here for competition. And then when I look up and see that the offense is winning on all cylinders, where they're using multiple running backs and they're using tight ends and different packages, I'm excited to see these things in practice, knowing that this team is still on all cylinders from the last season. What are your thoughts on that?
Incredible, man. It just goes to show you that the trickle down effect. Your coaches are like that, and then it trickles down to your players, man. They start believing, they start buying in, and Jamal has never been one to hold his tongue. He says what's on his mind. The guy's eccentric, full of energy, and eventually you knew it was going to rub off on the rest of the players. So I agree with you. This offense is miles ahead of the defense right now, but that's only because, like you said, that O-line has been together for a little longer. Pieces of that O-line have been together a little longer. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. He's been in the playoffs. He's a very tenured quarterback, even at his young age. But, the offense should be ahead of him at this point. The only question that we have right now is Ben Johnson. But, we're seeing it right now. Like, this is his time to insert dominance and just put together a package that's going to make this team successful. And I'm glad that they gave him the nod and kind of are giving him the keys to this offense right now. Now, still remains to be seen, who's going to be calling the plays, but they're right now. I'm happy to see it.
Now, I want everybody to take a second to tune this up. Turn your volume up. Get comfortable. All right. I'm about to say something that y'all not gonna like. I'm gonna say this again. I'm about to say something y'all not gonna like. Now, not too long ago, in the so current present, Luke waved the white flag on Jared Goff. In fact, he threw his hands up. He surrendered. He threw them up. He gave up. He said, "You know what?" He had a moment. I need you to follow with me. Wake up! Wake up! Now, the reason I'm telling you to wake up is because I'm starting to see things that don't in line with logic. I'm starting to see things that don't make sense. And in case you did not know where that clip came from, it's very simple. That is one of my favorite movies of all time, Mr. aka School Days by Mr. Spike Lee himself. However, here's my point of telling you to wake up. I have seen too many fans and some media talk about, is Jared Goff able to deliver the ball deep? And I've made many statements saying that was more about accuracy than it is about the deep pass. But let me just help you understand something. This is the NFL. JT Barrett comes in as a coaching assistant and is throwing deep passes, right? Like, this is not like something that they don't do. They come in and they throw deep passes. This is just standard operation procedures, right? We have to stop with this, okay? If you're telling me that you never seen him throw a deep pass, you are lying, okay? If you're telling me you haven't seen him put an accurate deep pass, you are lying. Jared Goff is a lot of things, but let's not forget that in most of the league, these quarterbacks look good because they just have to get the ball in the area. I don't think for one moment that many of the quarterbacks who played with Calvin Johnson had to be accurate. They had to get the ball in his vicinity. And it's the same thing that's going to come to play with Jared Goff. Jared Goff, and I can't believe I'm defending this, but Jared Goff has done enough, in my opinion, to make me believe that he can get the ball down there to him. Now, can he get it down there consistently, accurately? That's another argument. I can't argue that. But can he make the deep pass? Yes, he can. And I've seen it before where it's like, okay, we don't want to be the people to say that. We don't want to be the ones to say that he can do these things. But the reality is Jared Goff can make the deep pass. And the idea that, oh, well, he doesn't have the chemistry with him. Well, you drafted a guy, you traded up, 12 spots? Gave up a third-round pick to do it too? Yeah, he's going to have to make some plays. And every other receiver out there that's getting the ball thrown to him will have to make some plays. But the reality is this. We have to stop adding to our own agony. We got to stop making it seem like many of the things that are occurring, and it's not the case. It's the Lions. They don't need no freaking help with the stupid stuff. Okay? It doesn't make sense to me to make this up. So that's what it should not be. What are your thoughts on this? The idea that Jared Goff can't throw the ball deep.
I think he's very. I think last year he was just. It's a culture shock to him, and I'm not one to give people excuses. He's a professional, but somebody coming from sunny California to the depths of Detroit, it's a culture shock, and not only that, he's got a lot of different weapons that he's not familiar with. It wasn't a cookie cutter offense last year. We got rid of Anthony Lynn, relatively early in the season, and so it was just a bunch of him adjusting. But again, he was learning on the fly, just like these coaches were. So my hat's off to him that they finally put together a team that was, one of those teams that these teams who were vying for a playoff position didn't want to face. So my hat's off to him. From what I've been hearing, he put in work. He put in work in the off season. So he's taking it much more serious now that he knows he's not being hunted for, or that they believe in him now. So he's kind of more comfortable right now where he's at. And, the offense, Ben Johnson, I think he's like, hey, we're going to work around him. We're going to do the things that he was comfortable with doing in LA. So my hat's off to him, man. He's getting all these pieces. He's getting everything tailored to fit what it is he does best. And Luke, you and I both know, man, when you get that tailored suit, when it fits just right, you feel better. You just
everything, it looks better. The swag drips onto the suit different, but
your shoulders, you know what I mean?
And again, Salty, I'm not saying that he's the next coming of somebody. What I'm saying is that we are already have enough negative press and down parts of we don't need to help with other false things like he can't throw deep. That's just not true. I've seen things like, oh, they're holding DeAndre Swift out of practice because he can't carry the load. Or could it be that they're holding him out of practice because he's finna get a huge workload? Perspective is everything, and that's all I'm pointing out. Shout out to Raw Detroit, aka TA. He says, yo, what up, though, Luke? Lions Rumble, Dr. Detroit, Spanos, Ryder, what up, though? What's going on, brother? Let me see, make sure I ain't missing nothing in the chat, man. There's no reason left for Goff not to have a good season unless he sucks. That's all it boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it boils down to. Lion fans be exaggerating their asses up. Yes, and that's what I had to address. I can't believe I had to defend this man. JT Barrett should be the backup. Boyle and Blouse is still buns. That's out cold. That's terrible. Just FYI, I am still on daddy's duty. So if you hear my kids in the background, yes, I am still doing the show and still being dad. It's amazing what happens when Coco Melon comes on. It shuts everything down for kids. Okay, just giving you the heads up. All right. But it says, cheers, Rumble. These preview areas labor to love but fun. Yeah. So we need to add a linebacker to the squad, 100%. So this is another thing I want to ask you though, Rumble, because it's just so much come out of training camp that I'm just like, yo, what is the love train that is happening with our undrafted? Do it seem real to you, or do you feel like it's lip service? Meaning, like, I've seen them put a little love and press on, obviously, Malcolm Rodriguez, but I'm seeing some love for Houston. I haven't heard anything too much about Lucas, but everybody else I've pretty much heard have been murdering it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that's kind of a trick question because they don't want to seem like idiots for drafting these people if they're not as good as they think they're going to be, even though they were undrafted. But at the same time, you want that feel good story, right? You want those undrafted free agents to really shine so that we have more pieces to the puzzle, and we don't have to reach as deep in these upcoming drafts, right? So I'm hoping that it's not lip service. I'm hoping that everything that they're saying is allowing these guys to get that confidence in them because they're saying these things about them to the press because they're so high on them right now. So I like it. It's a very thin line. It's to be expected right now at training camp. But again, it's the first week in training camp where they're all fully padded and are actually popping and hitting each other. So, hey, welcome to the NFL, UFAs, or undrafted guys. Welcome to the NFL, man.
See,
use your time wisely here.
See, I feel like it's lip service. I feel like everything right now is gonna be blown up. We on Hard Knocks. We gotta keep people engaged. We getting hype videos every day, damn near. They posting on Twitter, Instagram. It's in full fledged. Go at them. But I gotta call a spade a spade. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is.
All press is good press at this point in time, especially when we're 3-13. As long as they don't keep bringing up the 3-13 record, I'm cool with it. You want to talk about our undrafted rookies? Fine. You want to talk about you know, anything else other than that 3-13 record? That's last year. That's so last year. Hang that shit up and put it in the vault.
Yep. The only way I'm gonna bring it out is when I start seeing the results I don't want to see.
Exactly.
Salty says Goff is $31 million against our cap. Is he really worth that to y'all? Nope. But I'm not going to make up false stories and be like he can't throw the ball deep or he can't manage a game. I've seen lesser quarterbacks get stuff done. So, at this point, is it wishful thinking? Sure, but I've seen tape where he's thrown the ball deep and it looked very nice. So I'm not prepared to just act like that's something that should be pushed as a narrative on. Okay, he get the ball deep down the field to Jamison Williams. Will Jamison Williams be playing this year? And how many games? That's another question. So just saying. Nothing wrong with a little bit of quarterback competition to light a fire under the Goff buns to play better. Well, his only competition is Boyles and Blau, and I don't have a problem with Blau. I just wish that they'd get Boyles out the way of Blau. You got him practicing with people that he shouldn't be. Now they're trying to make it seem like in the media that Boyles is having a way better camp than Blau. Okay, but that's even worse news for me because what the hell?
Again, I think they're just trying to like exude confidence in him. I don't believe that.
it says I didn't realize Barrett was so young. He's the same age as Goff. Yep, and he's a coaching assistant, so he's trying to get into this coaching game. Anthony says we are building our team. Goff contract isn't exactly holding us back. He is place holding and getting an opportunity. We can address this next year if he goes bad. This is true, Anthony. This is true. Let me see. Let me try and miss nothing. It says all Ohio State quarterbacks retire early. Point Barrett. We're gonna see what happened with Fields. Yeah, he's just a coach. You know what I'm saying? He's just a coach, unfortunately. But again, another thing that stood out to me was this: that because they obviously released reports about today's training camp, and they said, hey, Aiden Hutchinson looked so much better, right? And that he got like a pair of sacks and stuff, right? What I love is how they don't put things in context, because from what I'm hearing, those pair of sacks came against second and third string tackles, but that's none of my business. The reality is if you are better than somebody, you should beat them, and that's just the bottom line of it. And I like that, but again, it's practice. When it matters, I want to see you do it. And for me, one of the things that I'm loving that I did not see too much in his college tape, but I'm seeing in practice, at least that he's working on, is a counter move. Mm-hmm. Where the hell was that at in college? He probably could have sacked the goddamn college sack record if he had a counter move. Man. And now I'm watching him in practice try to do a counter move, even though it's not working in many of those cases. Sewell ain't playing with him. Sewell said you're gonna be better if I beat it into you, right? He's not playing. And even Aleem McNeil is like, no, Frank Ragnow is a different beast. Like that dude is just that good. Like I don't even know how he's doing this stuff. But I get it. I totally get it. Jay Thurr says, well, the season is here now, so we'll see. Yeah, everybody's gonna get an opportunity to see how this all goes down. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I can't do it. It says, I hate to say it, but I think Jamar Jefferson is done unless he has a huge preseason. I thought Jamar Jefferson was done when he couldn't steal away the special teams job from the dude, the lone name that I'm not even trying to pronounce. His name long as hell. I'm not going to play these games today. I'm just saying. But I think when you look at it, would you rather have him be in the mix or somebody else? As long as you got Reynolds, you got Swift, and you got Williams, I mean, the fourth guy, I really don't care. And at that point, the fourth guy really is a special teams guy. So he's going to have to run down there, make some tackles or do something. But outside of that, he need to get it popping.
Yeah, absolutely. You want guys out here, wherever they're asked to play, just do your best, because you never know when your chance is going to come up, man. We you know how long this season is, and then they added an extra game, so this season's long, man. And these nagging injuries and these hip pointers and various things that happen throughout the season, you need to be ready. So shout out to them, man. If that's 90% of the game is being mentally just prepared, man. Like, hey, you're still on the squad. Your number's not called as frequent, but just you're in the squad. So
Yeah, and not to mention, it's a lot of people that's not going to have positions. Now, one of the things that I've been noticing, especially with the linebackers, there was a play where I'm trying to think of the receiver freaking name. I'm drawing a blank on this damn name, but there's a play where Jared Davis ends up on a receiver, and the receiver cooked his ass. And so the article that I read was like, yeah, Jared Davis still having trouble in coverage. What linebacker is running with receivers? I'm just introduce him to me. Who was the linebacker running with the receiver? Because they don't exist no more. The one that could probably do it don't even be asked to do it as much. He's asked to run with tight ends. And that's probably Isaiah Simmons or Darius Leonard, who don't want to be called Darius no more, which is strange. But this is not the point, okay? He wants to go by his middle name, okay? That's what he said. I have a hard time adjusting. But I'm saying, like, come on, man. I think that it's cool to do this because what it does is by giving them these improbable matchups, it forces them to focus on the technique. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the strongest. You have to be technical sound. This is why I don't get into 40-yard dashes and bench presses no more. I've been duped by them too many times. I've seen too many people who look like they should be monsters and they're not good. All right? And that's where the problem comes in there. So it just is what it is. Undrafted free agent prediction, Pimpleton, Taylor make the team. I don't think so. I think practice squad at best. And the only way I see them making the team is somebody else goes down at the receiver position. But when you still got Reynolds, you still have Amon-Ra, you still have Chark, you still have what's my man, Khalif Raymond. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it down for me, Rumble. I got a potty request. I gotta get
do your
potty.
thing. Do your thing. Yeah. These predictions for the free agents at wide receiver. Yeah, I think that wide receiver core is going to be it's going to be a battle. And even with Quintez Cephas going down in practice today, I think there's still guys who have more juice in their tank than Pimpleton at this point. And I'm going to be interested in seeing where they rank these wide receivers. Who's going to be the true number one? Who's going to be and what various packages they're going to run with these guys? Because we all know that as important as these wide receivers are, the tight end position is important too because you have to guard the tight end in the red zone because that should be your number one target in the red zone. So much like how last year Amon-Ra St. Brown was the number one target in some of those games that he showed up for in the red zone, they're going to be looking at him based off of his performance from last year. They're going to be looking at him in the red zone. They're going to be keeping their eye on him much more frequently this year than they were last year. And that's good, because that's going to only open the door for the other guys on the field. And again, we have to also watch, we have another receiver out of the backfield and, Swift. Again, that's another guy who can just catch the ball out the backfield. So again, if you cover all those receivers out there and Hawk and, you have another weapon in the backfield and Swift who can, once those guys are out in their routes and whatnot, ready to block, he can catch the ball out the backfield and take it wherever he needs to at this point. So I'm very, very interested in seeing what Ben Johnson has up his sleeve for all these guys.
I'm back, man. So here's the thing. Potty training is real. I tried one day to let him go to the potty by himself. That was a huge mistake. To all my soon-to-be parents, new parents, do not do this. To those who have already experienced the potty woes, I sympathize with you. He pissed everywhere. It was so much pee. It was pee everywhere, man. I mean, I was so upset.
Of course.
I could not believe. I was like, good grief.
All that came out of you?
Yeah.
You still got to bribe him with snacks or whatever? Or
you know what? I don't got to bribe him with snacks. He does love the praise, so he does have to get 7 high fives. That's the only thing.
Oh, yeah. That's
so he gets the 7. But the whole aim for the Cheerios and the potty thing is dead. He don't want. He want to hit more than just the Cheerios. He needs to hit the wall and the floor and he doesn't. The toilet's not even a target no more. It's just it's there. Yeah, it's just there. Buff does said Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons ain't running with no receivers. Detroit D says, "What up, though, Luke and family? Pride about damn time." It's been a while, man. It's been a while. Potty break, yeah, man. You gotta give them to the potty when they call for it. Taylor is making the team. We need interior D-line help, and Taylor played well all along the line at App State. Yeah, I mean, I think Taylor is a dark horse to get in there, but Pimpleton, I don't know. And Taylor, I think even with Taylor, I'm still skeptical. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, let me see. Let me make sure I'm gonna catch back up, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm on daddy duty. It says, dang, these kids will soon be peeing on the ceiling. Yes, bro. Yes, Crimson. Shout out. Yes, it says pee on the toilet too, bro. Listen, everything but shout out to my man, Detroit Rage Sports. What's going on, brother? Happy to see you in here in the building, man. Now, listen, usually I do it a little bit different. I go a little bit longer, but I had so much I got to cover. I'm probably to do it on multiple days. So I'm going to take it a step further. That's right. What I'm going to do is give you a chance to jump in here and call me out my damn name. That's right. Feel free to come in and be a part of the party. I'm going to drop that thing in the chat so you guys can have a conversation with me and we can talk some football. You can bring up anything you want, okay? I have no quarrels about what it is you want to bring up. All I ask is that you keep it respectful, okay? Keep it respectful and let's have a conversation and have some fun. Now, I do want to bring this up, Rumble, because we're all to talk about the training camp and the different positional battles and how this person is hyped, this position is open and stuff. You know the one storyline I've been waiting to come out of the training camp that I have not heard yet?
Which one is that one?
A fight. When it ain't been a fight yet. I saw somebody get their ass hit. I said, you ain't got up and want to swing?
It's coming.
It's practice. He shouldn't be hitting you like that.
It's coming. This is our first week in pads, right? Like
I know, but God, I'll be damn.
It's coming, man. I think right now these guys are just listening to Dan, man. Like Dan's been doing his Joe Clark speeches lately, man. Like we'll play you on grass, we'll play you in the field, we'll play you in turf, we'll play you at the damn
anywhere.
We'll play at the garbage site. Like, yeah, so they're like, they're kind of basically just inhaling all of this in right now. Dan's a mountain of a man. It's beautiful to see that from our coaches, because I'd be damn, I didn't see that from our other previous two coaches that we had.
Yeah, we can't even mention his name. I feel like the bad juju is too much.
Yeah.
Shout out to the family. Curt Steele in the building says, "What up, though?" Shout out to him, man. I'm telling you, it's very rare I can say this, but there are very few people that I can say is not only a great man, but the most amazing, beyond superpowers father. And that man is one of them. So shout out to my man Curt Steele for being so awesome all the time. All right, we got people jumping in here. Again, this is where you guys can come in and talk your talk with me. You just say you're not even a fan of the Lions and you're a fan of the Vikings or the Packers, and you got to let me know that you're going to still run this division. I'm all ears for it. Just understand that you better come with facts, because I'm going to come with mine. First in the building, we got my man Crimson Shadow. Welcome back, brother. How are you?
Not too bad. Just my third week after surgery.
Yes, sir.
Crimson, welcome, man. Good to see you, man.
And I'm loving the Logan beard going on right now. The Wolverine look is nice, man.
Oh man, my girls want me to shave this dang thing, man.
Hey, man, depending on what you're doing with it, I can understand why. I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, tell me, man, what you got for us, man?
Well, other than this training camp's been interesting, though. With me in training camp, it doesn't matter till week one. I've heard good training camps after good training camps, even under Matt Patricia. But for me, what interests me, honestly, is Will Harris actually realistically being the number 2. That's actually insane. I mean, if you actually can do it, perfect. But other than that, the only other things that are just concerning me is all these freaking injuries. Aleem scared the crap out of me, and they just carted off Quintez Cephas, which great, that's fantastic.
I thought I read from Dr. Detroit that he came back and finished practice, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Aleem came back and finished. Yeah.
What about Quintez? I think
that's unfortunate. That's my dark horse for this year, man. We were talking about Amon-Ra and all these other receivers that we picked up. Quintez was that. He's that sneaky receiver, man.
I know, he's so good. It's like, God dang it, that's the last thing we need. And Pimpleton's probably in the background going, yes!
Of course.
He said, yes! Yes, we did it! Mama, I love you. Hold it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Forbidden Knowledge. Welcome to the show, my brother. My man Joseph says, "Damn, Luke, you know what I was talking about." Joseph Murdoch says, "You think Bugs from Pittsburgh makes the roster, or will he get squashed?" I don't think he makes the team.
Really?
I don't. Yeah, I don't, because you got to think they're gonna start doing cuts, and there's gonna be way better options who are more proven at doing what they're doing. What's the difference between Bugs and what's the guy we got? Cornell. What's the difference between them two right now?
Experience.
Well, both of them don't have a little bit of injury history. Cornell definitely been injured, but what's the difference though overall?
One's from Pittsburgh. One's
That's
from Mike
it.
Tomlin.
That's it.
You know,
That's
what I mean?
it.
I think Mike Tomlin's prepares. Yeah, that's it. I think Mike Tomlin prepares these guys.
Yeah.
But,
see, I don't think Bugs makes it. Now Ricky Bobby says he thinks Bugs makes it easy. I don't think he does it. Let me bring in our other guest, man. I'm trying to do this. I'm sorry you got your face covered up, Crimson. My man Anthony, who somehow says F sleep because sleep is for suckers and real geniuses stay up all night. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey Luke, hey Rumble, hey Crimson.
What up, man?
What up?
How can I sleep when I come across a YouTube stream with Luke G and Lion Rumble and Crimson Shadow on it? I mean, it's impossible, man. I can't just
incredible.
What can I say?
Get you through, buddy.
Now listen, Anthony. You've been following a lot of the news and stuff when it comes to training camp, and you also been hearing all the hype stuff, which I don't know why the hype was so strong when I'm like, it's no pads on. I mean, they even these new things that they're putting on the helmets are confusing the fuck out of me. Like they're gonna have neck issues with this thing on. It doesn't make sense to me. But what has been the biggest storyline that's come out of the training camp for you thus far?
Jesus, I mean, the one that was mentioned, this Will Harris Akuda thing is this is scaring me. I'm sorry. I'm traumatized from what he's done in the past to this team, and I just think they've changed positions, right? So if he's at safety, Will Harris is at corner. I feel like if he's got shafted here, because I think if he's an outside corner, I like Iffy at outside corner. I think he's developing well there. He played well last year. He got hit by the injury, but I think that's his natural position. And if Harris has been shifted, out to corner, and if he's sort of had to make way as almost a sacrifice for that to move him into safety instead, I don't like it. I just really don't. Everyone goes, if he can play safety, but he should be our outside corner. Iffy, Amani, Akuda, I want that to be the core trio there, and I just don't like it from that point of view. So that one's really irked me. But I think the other one, and I know you're going to hate this, Luke, but I think with some of the later round day 3 guys and the undrafted free agents, I think you have to let some of the enthusiasm into you. You have to sort of ingest some of it, because some of it's real. I mean, I told you about Malcolm Rodriguez from the draft, that he could be much better than his round 6 pick that we put in there for him. And everything you've seen from what they very first said about him, from the coaching staff, how he picks up plays, how he's a year 3 guy in terms of the scheme, he's playing well in camp, he's put pads on, he's hitting people hard already. Dan Campbell's saying he's already having to move him up the depth board. And I know the depth, linebacker's not great, but I think there's a point where when you look at the tape and you see the player, you have to accept that actually maybe there's something legitimate to this. And I think Emrod is legit, and I think he's going to be a starter sooner rather than later. So, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing him play, and I still think he's going to be a starter sooner rather than later.
Well, I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea. I don't like how they have turned him into the Man of Steel. That's the problem. Even the Man of Steel had a weakness. It's a glowing green rock. And I'm just saying that they're doing way too much to push this agenda that he's going to be anything other than a special teamers. Everything that you said that he did, I don't disagree. But we also got to put context to it. It's against the lower end of talent. And when I start to see him doing this against our starters, I go, oh, snap. Now, are there things that he's doing that I love? Yes. One of the things when I watch linebacker film is I'm always looking to see who initial reaction and read is correct. His seems to be very much there. I'll give him that. It's even better when you're going against somebody who's not going to make the team.
It's true, but I think you also have to take into account, why was he a day 3 draft pick? And the thing is, people are concerned about his size They're concerned about the reach of his arms and, the ability when he comes out against bigger players. But if you dive down into it, he's a state wrestling champion. He has everything he needs to know his arsenal to learn about leverage with bigger players, to turn them inside out, to get the better of them. The size is not an issue because, as the coaching staff have said, his instinct is top notch. So the size doesn't matter because he's at the play before even someone knows it's happening. All those reasons he was bumped down to a day 3 draft prospect. If you look closely, he negates those with his skills. Therefore, Urdu, he ain't a day 3 draft pick. He's a higher draft pick. And it's just with it. I'm not doing it with everybody. I don't get on the hype train about everybody on these days. But if you logistically look at it, what they're saying his problems are, and you see his tape, you see that he has the answer to those problems. So I think it's more than just a coincidence here. Everything is... He's trending upwards, and I don't think it's just hype from camp. With him, it's different.
Okay, listen, I can't argue with you. I don't want to say it's an excuse, but I don't like the reason that he was drafted late was because of height issues, because Devin Bush and him, I believe, are the same height, and I would argue that he might be taller than Devin Bush, and Devin Bush was taken high as hell. So to me, the height is not the issue. There are certain things that people can see, and he could be a late stud. You know what I mean? But Dr. Detroit says, Luke, I have been there 4 days. He looks great no matter what you say. Is he doing it against the starters? That's my question to you, Dr. Detroit, because what I'm reading and even the clips that I'm seeing, these are people who are not going to be on the team. I'm sorry.
I mean, all things considered, Amani Warrior was a 5th round pick, and we don't know why he fell either.
Yeah. I mean, this whole notion that, me and Luke have talked about this before, even prior to, the draft. You can't teach intangibles and instinct. If this guy knows where the play is going to be at before he's told, and he's just reacting like that, you can't. It takes years of experience to get to that point. So to Anthony's point, to Luke's point, man, these intangibles. If he's got these intangibles that are just like immediate, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be used somewhere on this defense to help them better. We are talking about practice with, again, the 3rd and 4th stringers. So if we see the same thing in the preseason, then why not?
But I would argue that the size thing is an issue with linebackers. Look what happened to Nakobe Dean. Now I know he had injury issues, but he was taller. He wouldn't have slipped as far as he did in the draft, and he played on one of the statistically greatest college defenses of all time.
But the injury, though.
I know there was injuries, but I'm telling you, if he is like the prototypical sized linebacker in the league, he don't drop that far with the injuries. I think the size coupled with the injuries made him drop very far, and he wasn't one of the best defenses in college of all time. Malcolm Rodriguez was not. I think size is taken into account there because there's nothing else with this game which is immediately, oh God, there's problems with it. Okay. That's literally the only thing. That was the big knock on him, was the arm size, and can he work with it, because it's all about leverage. But again, you state wrestling champion, you know how to wrestle bigger guys. He flattened a lineman in training today apparently, and linemen are big dudes. It don't matter who it is. If you're an undersized linebacker and you're flattening offensive linemen, the size issue there, it's just these little things. And I'm not getting bought into the hype all the way. I'm just saying these little tidbits you see in a justification for the reasons that I believe he's better than your average day 3 draft prospect.
All right. Now, before I bring in our next guest who's in the back waiting patiently, much respect to him, I got to pay some bills, people, because I am a part of something that's bigger than me at this point, where we are on Roku and a host of other podcasts just for me being on their platform, and that is Man Hour. That's right, people. Man Hour. It's a YouTube channel, but they're bigger than that. They're doing so many things. They cover all 32 teams. They cover all the baseball. They're covering hockey. They're covering basketball. In fact, I don't know how they're doing all of it, but they have literally taken some of your favorite content creators and brought them to this one platform where I can still stream on my channel, but now stream to their platform, as well as Facebook and a host of other things. And you get to see the different perspectives and stuff. So right now they're at like 1.95. I'm trying to get them, higher than that. But it's up to you to get that done. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. You're going to disagree, agree, but know that it's all in the spirit of sports and sportshood and sportsmanship. So again, that's man hour. Shout out to the people in the family. All right, good people. My next guest is up in the building. He waited patiently, and if you want to join the show, please feel free to do so. And let me do this really quick before I bring him in, because he asked this question a few minutes ago, and he was patient as hell about it. So thank you. Cake Man 1218 says, where do you see Michael Brockers after the season off this team? I mean, if you he has to be, right, because you drafted Levi, you drafted Hutchinson, you drafted Pascal. Like, he should not be on this team at that point, and you should be looking to get more veteranship at that point if you wanted to. But I don't think he's here at the fact. So for me, it's just like, okay, it's strange. Now, Dr. Detroit is saying that Rodriguez looks really good in practice. So, hey, I'm taking your word for it. But I laugh and chuckle because my man Joseph says, is Rodriguez the Rudy of the Lions? We're going to find out. Rudy. Cake Man also said he loves watching everyone's channel. Thank you for the support. Dion is an inch taller but weighs about 10 pounds less. Like I said,
Dean.
I don't think.
Yeah, Kobe Dean. Yeah.
I mean, Dean, I'm sorry, yeah, but I don't think that the height thing is as big as it's been made out to be. I could be wrong. Who's to say? I ain't mad at him. And he said he just subbed. Hey, shout out to you. Detroit definitely needs to be looked to spend some money in 2023 on a stud linebacker. That's from my man DeAndre Baker. Listen, I was disgusted because I thought that they had a chance to fill all their holes this year. I really do believe that. And I think with the way the draft was designed, you could have gotten a lot of your problems solved this year. And they got some parts solved, but I'm still concerned about others. And I agree, we need to get a stud linebacker. Plus, Rodriguez sidestep, shedding, blocking O-line would be lightning. Okay. Let me bring in my guest, Ghost Gunner, in the building. Gunner, what up, though?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Man, listen, I'm so glad to be back. Y'all don't even understand how crazy it is. My job, I feel like I'm happy to be employed, but I don't think they appreciate us the way they should with the way they work us. So, but you know what? If all be willing, I'm working on something big that I hope can change some things and kind of get me to be a little bit free and do some good in the midst of it all. Gunner, what are your hot takes from the training camp and a lot of the media that's been put out there about the Lions thus far?
Man, why am I hearing so much Will Harris? If that man don't stay on special teams, I'm tired of this.
Listen, y'all are so depressed about this Will Harris talk.
That man single-handedly has cost us so many games. I'm praying on his downfall.
You gotta be better.
Wait, he literally said, I'm praying on his downfall. He said, I don't even want him to succeed.
No, I agree with what Anthony said earlier. Put Iffy back at corner.
It's scary as hell, bro. It's scary. If Okudah gets this is the reality. If Okudah gets beat out by Will Harris,
we in trouble.
I don't even want to put the trouble term on it, but I will tell you this much: the Okudah faithful fan base, even they're going to have to just let it go.
Okudah got to be traded at that point.
He has to be.
Get whatever you can. I don't care. It could be a 2024 7th for all I care.
So just out of curiosity, and this is not only to just you guys in the panel, but to the chat. It's the biggest, scariest news thus far out of training camp is the fact that there's a real, legit, open competition between Okudah and Will Harris. I got to poll this and figure out what people are saying. This is.
I think I'll start yes and no, because this is showing that AP and AG are kind of good at what they're doing. For them to transition a guy who played safety to corner, and then you had a guy who was drafted at corner who's having trouble with this guy who switched positions. I think that shows that they know what the hell they're doing, and the previous regime had no idea what they were doing, because Okudah is like 3 years, how he got held back for 3 years basically, and it's kind of sad because he was brought in with a coaching regime who put all their hey, yeah, we got you, we drafted you, we want you, and now he's in a position where these guys are like, yo, you aren't that alpha that you were drafted to be. So the fact that he's competing with a guy who switched positions, man, that's more so on him than it is anyone else. But But I think AG and them have something up their sleeve, just in case Okuda's not that guy. I think they're going to figure out a play for him or a place for him in this team, or like you said, they'll get rid of him.
As soon as they shut the door, they said, "Dear God, help us." And they're like, "All right, guys, it's going to be open competition."
To me, honestly.
They're sitting there like, "All right, guys, it's going to be open competition. Good luck." It's just start. Dear God, help us.
It's funny because as soon as I asked the question, the chat exploded. Yes, absolutely. This is the most terrible, scariest thing to come out of camp. Like, what do you mean it's an open competition? I'm seeing a lot of yeses and things like that. I got my man Ricky Bobby who says if you ain't first, you last. However, if Okuda and Harris are giving up triple digits each, #trash. I just find it interesting because I want to, and correct me if I'm right or wrong about this, Anthony. On Roar the Lions UK, y'all were talking to Glover Quin. And the question was asked about the transition from safety to corner, right? Do you remember that? And he said, "Not safety to corner." He paused. It actually took him aback a bit, where he said, "Usually they go from corner to safety because that's a little bit of a different transition. But if you can go from safety to corner, then that's actually amazing." And I got to be honest, if he's doing that. And he take that spot from Okuda.
I mean, that could be the
Can't
biggest.
be worse than Lawson. I'm sorry.
Lions Twitter is going to be the funnest place in the world if Will Harris falls out because every single person is going to be like deleting tweets from the last 5 years trying to cover up their tracks about it. There are going to be so many apologies, and that's myself included. And I really don't want to, but yeah, I remember Glover. Glover was very, He really put his nose up when I talked about moving positions. He's like, you don't move people, you play them where they're good at. And
right.
For me, I feel like Harris is they're trying to shoehorn him into the side. They're trying to find a way in for him. And I feel, like I said, that Iffy is the sacrifice for this. They can't fit everyone at corner. They can't give them all snaps. So they go, right, who's best placed to play at safety? It's Iffy. Even if it's not the best move for him, they're looking at his physicality, his size, the way he plays, and think, oh, maybe he can do it. But it's not necessarily the best move. Why move Iffy? Iffy's not been playing bad, so why is he getting shifted? He shouldn't.
Yeah, what was the point of bringing in Deshaun Elliott if you're just going to move Iffy to safety?
Because you know why, and it's the exact reason that I pointed out during the draft process. Our safety room is abysmal. Once you go past Tracy Walker, everybody's got a question mark. Just write it on down there. And I even said, if they move Okuda to safety, I'm good. Because when we took Kirby to me, I'll say it again, 10 times over, Kirby is Tracy Walker 2.0.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but 2 Tracy Walkers out there is a bad thing. I'll tell you why.
Is it? I have a theory. Go on.
I'll tell you why. Because if you put both of them out there, they play the same style. You know that one of the Tracy Walkers, aka Joseph, is gonna try to go for the ball, but he's not, in my opinion, big enough to be able to be lined up in the box on plays and to take on the larger blockers and things like that. So that's where I say, to me, it's not a good thing. You need a opposite. That's why when you had Legion of Boom, you had Cam Chancellor, who you could put in the box, but then you had Earl Thomas, who you can move around and play in space. And when you're going through and look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you had John Lynch, and John Lynch was the guy that they would try to let roam around at times, but they could bring him in the box. But then when they got Dwight Smith, he was the guy that they would put up there and try to let move around free. And if you look at all the good defenses, this has been the case at every level. Whether it be Pittsburgh, the Bears, or whoever else, they have to have them on different levels. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, if Will Harris wins the starting corner job and is watchable for 17 games, I will buy his jersey.
Listen, I'm not going that far.
Yeah,
But go ahead, Anthony.
Worst case scenario, though, is that you move him out there, he continues to suck, and if you move Melifonwu in and he struggles to adapt to safety and you start messing with his development, then you've ruined him for nothing. And everyone going, he can be a safety corner hybrid, but don't get too clever with it. Matt Patricia tried to do the whole hybrid thing with his defenders all the time, and it ruined them more often than not. But if he's good at outside corner, play him at outside corner and develop him at outside corner. I just don't want to see a situation where we ruin the pair of them when in reality we could keep Iffy safe in the position he's at and just let Will Harris get out of here.
Well,
go ahead, Chris.
Here's my thing, though. We already saw what Will Harris was like at corner, and he did look much better at corner than he did safety. So you can make an argument there that we have at least have a small sample size to see that, yeah, he sucks at safety, but if he's better at a different position, it's kind of like when you're hiring somebody else. He may suck in that position, but he's better at another position. I've worked with a lot of people like that in the field. So
I'll take it one step further. This team, the defense, we keep saying it. Anthony keeps saying it. Luke, you keep saying it too without saying the word, but it's versatility. Why we can flip-flop Will Harris if he becomes that guy. We can flip-flop him if need be. We can also potentially be able to flip-flop, my gosh, I can't even say his name, Melifonwu. We could potentially flip-flop him. We could potentially bring these guys up in the box if need be. Again, this defense are changing. It's going to be much more attacking. So they're hoping that this D-line gets pressures to rush these throws to make up for the lack of linebacker, to make up for the lack of, maybe not our secondary being the greatest. But my guess is that the Will Harris thing is probably pushing Okudah to be like, wait, hold up. I'm the real corner here. So maybe they're trying to play head games with him. I don't quite know, but that to me is by far one of the most incredible things that I've gotten out of this training camp with Aaron Glenn actually making that publicly, because the Aaron Glenn is a no holds barred dude. He says what he means what he says. And I'm thinking like they Okudah better come with it, man. That's all I know. He better come with it.
Let me get to the chat really quick. Bill Hawkins says, if football is 90% mental, why question the hype of these players? If you can pull a player head out of his ass and build him up, then see what he can do with confidence.
Bill, I like you.
I like the idea. I do. But the reality is this. Confidence is great. Don't get me wrong. Confidence is amazing. You still have to have the ability to do the job, right? There are some things you got to have the ability to do. And the best way I can kind of describe it to you is like this, right? I can be the most confident person that I can fix your car. But if you are certain that you want your car to be damaged even further, let me attempt to fix your car. I have no clue what the hell I'm doing when it comes to a car. And so to me, you can be confident. Hell, I'm confident that I can fly until you push me off a building and I don't. These things do make a difference in you having the ability to actually come through with the confidence. Not saying you're wrong, Bill, but I'm just saying look at it from this standpoint where you can have all the confidence in the world, but at some point you have to put it to play, and it has to go into technique. It has to go into your ability to read and react and your ability to be better. So I'm not downing them or anything. I'm just saying let's be more realistic about what their real role is going to be on the team. That's all I'm saying.
I think, the problem I have with this whole Harris thing, again, we're basing this team on a meritocracy. You earn your way in here and you get your place based on that. If Ifiatu has not done anything to warrant losing his position in this team, he could be outside corner one. He has that potential. So, like Joseph said in the chat, they missed their opportunity to fix safety this year. They knew our safety room was terrible, and yet they still only chose to go with Kirby Joseph in the draft, a third-round project who needs work, and Deshaun Elliott, who is a career special teamer. He's done some work at Baltimore, but they deliberately chose not to make that room better. Now, Ifiatu should not suffer for that decision. By one, Will Harris getting his position just because Harris sucks at safety, and two, because they've not got the depth there, so they're moving him over to play there. I just don't like how they're treating him with it. I want him to be my outside corner one, and I want to train him there. It's not fair on him.
It makes sense. You're basically saying, look, I don't want him to lose reps at a position that I think he should be at and would be better suited to help us with our cause. But I think the problem is that safety spot is so damn bad. And they're indirectly showing you this by bringing in all these different people and moving people around to play the spot. And I'm telling you, I think the last straw is Okudah moving to that position. But, hey, we will see. My man, I'm sorry, Anthony. Cake Man 1218 says, "I'm going to the first preseason game. How do you think the Lions match up against the Falcons in the future of the regular season?" I think when you look at the Falcons as a whole, wait a minute, who I lose? Crimson. All right, I think when you look at the future as a whole, or that game as a whole, the future looks bright. But that game as a whole, take no stock in it. You're trying to see who gets into the game and has some fight in them. Who won it? Who's playing fast? Who's flying around? Who wants to be seen? That's what that game is for. By the time they get to the second game, which you can argue might be the dress rehearsal, again, that's just making sure that they got certain little key pieces in play that they want to, do foundationally to keep them going. So to me, don't take too much stock into the first game as more as looking at it as a scrimmage, which is what it really is. You want to see who got it, who wants it, who's that guy out there saying that pick me, because if you don't, you're going to regret it. And that's what you should look forward to. Anybody disagree with that?
No, I think the one thing I would want to look for, I want to look for the tempo. They've made it a big issue to say that the offensive tempo has to be good. It has to be quick. None of these stupid delayed games. I know they were having trouble with it in training today. I want to see that from the off, because that's what we were sold on. That offense is going to get a lot more simplified, and the verbiage is going to be a lot more simpler. It's going to run a lot smoother, because we shot ourselves in the foot so many times last year. So in preseason, I want to see that installed. I want to see that tempo. If not, the scrimmage reps and that, I want to see the offense working better.
Yeah. Cake Man says, also, where can I find the channel of Lions Rumble and the rest? Well, they're not. Lions Rumble channel is right here. He rocks with me and is co-hosting with me when he's not working to death like I am. And the rest are subs. You can actually jump in and talk ball. There's a link in the description, not in the description, but in the chat that's pinned to the top. If you click that link, you jump in, you have a conversation with us, and we bring you in. I just ask that you keep it respectful and have a good time. That's all it is. So yeah. Let me see. Some people are confident they can fly until they have hit the pavement. I mean, like I said, confidence is cool, but you got to be able to do. Let me see. I heard that Cephas got hurt today at camp. Does anyone know the depth of that injury? I think I just read a few minutes ago that he's good. But speaking of reading, things pop up quick, and I was just saying that I ain't hear nothing about no fight. And apparently, Will Harris threw a punch or took a swing. That's how they worded it. Took a swing at Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it was quickly broken up by Khalif Raymond. And so now Harris is now operating exclusively with the twos, and that the coaches did not jump in. They allow for the players to govern themselves. Great leaderships allow for them to do it, and I think that's dope. But that's the first one.
I'd be mad too if I was trash.
I hope Amon-Ra jackhammered him.
Goldberg.
Yeah.
You and Gunner is like, get him the hell up out of here.
Oh,
you know what I
man.
mean? Like, yeah, I get it. There's a bunch of dudes confident they can beat Mike Tyson. Those are some of the best examples. What do you say? Everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
See, I think that is a big thing this year that we're. Because even me, me, Luke, I'm the most optimistically happy guy in the world with this. But I have listened to a lot of the hype recently, like Jamal's speech yesterday and that, and I find myself, I'm like, right, this is good and all, but I need to see it now. I think last year was the year when we could be bad and we could say, look, we're going to work hard, we're going to try and win games, but we're not going to be able. It's a difficult situation. That's fine. We were three plays away from winning 6 games. I'm at the point now where it's like, right, you're going to hype me up every week, tell me that you're going to lock teams in a cage with you, you're never going to go away, you're going to beat them down. I need to see that now.
Yep.
Words are not enough anymore. And if you go into the Eagles game and get rolled over by 40 points, I'm going to lose faith in you very quickly. So, the hype now is done. I've taken as much hype as I can. Now it's about results. And that's what it has to be this year. They have to show that they can back up what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, everything you're saying, in the words of all people, I detect no lies. I right now, there's a promo video out right now. I know it's on Twitter for those who are on Twitter, but it's a promo video out where they are showing a small moment from the Hard Knocks where my man Dan Campbell is talking to the people. So just FYI, in case you're looking at it. But yeah, I think that most of the fan base should look at this upcoming season with a level of optimism, but realism as well. Because what I think is starting to happen at this point is the media is dictating the story. And that's not where we're supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to look. And that's not what you want. And so to me, I want people to just take a second to say, you know what needs to happen for us to win? What needs to be the foundational work done for us to win? And if you do that, then great. Wait a minute. Adam lost his damn mind? All right, I got to show y'all this. Okay. First of all, shout out to Woodward Sports, right? And shout out to my man Adam. But I got to show y'all this, all right? Again, I'm always looking. What?
I saw that.
What?
0-17 Bears.
0-17 Bears. 7-10 Lions. 11-6 Vikings. 10-7 Packers. I'm at loss for words on this because
Vikings are winning. Packers are going to win the division.
Two of those teams got new coaches. The Bears got a new coach. The Vikings got a new coach. You telling me the Vikings with their new coach is going to come in and do better than us? That's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. I mean, seriously.
The Bears are going to be bottom. I think that's clear. They'll be bottom by a distance. But Green Bay are not as bad as people make them out to be. The only problem they've got is a receiver. And history tells you that Aaron Rodgers turns bog standard receivers into good receivers. Look at Alan Lazard. Look at Robert Tonyan. He did nothing here with the Lions. Then they took him there and they turned him into one of the best receiving tight ends in the league.
I know where he an all-pro tight end.
You know, and actually they got a lot of talented players. They took Romeo Doubs. They took Christian Watson. These guys have a high ceiling. And if he even gets a little bit out of them, then Christ, they're just back to beating the crap out of the rest of us this year. So they're a good side. It'll be them, and then it'll be the Vikings, then it'll be us, then it'll be the Bears.
I still think we split those games with the Packers this year. I think.
Yeah.
I think these guys have taken it on themselves to just at least, raise questions in the NFC North, man. I don't know. I just see a different. I just see the players have much more confidence in what Dan is saying. So I'm under the impression that they're going to run through a wall for him, just like he would for them. And I just think the NFC is going to be North is going to be put on notice this year. There's no reason
that we can't do well.
Oh man,
there's no reason we can't do well, Rumba. I mean, we beat Minnesota last year.
Yes,
that was them with a playoff team and us with our team that was battered to high heaven.
Third, fourth stringers out there. Yeah.
Again, so we're better than the Bears on both sides of the ball. There's no reason we can't beat them. There is no reason we can't beat the Vikings. The Packers are a different thing, but then our schedule, the Panthers, the Seahawks, the Jaguars, the Jets, the Giants, people going into the season with low expectations, it's like, hold your team to a standard. Yes. Eventually, you have to start having standards. And if you are going to lose to teams like the Jets, the Giants, the Jags, and that this year, and not compete against them, then I'm sorry, but that is not good enough for this Lions team. They showed last year they could compete with a bad team that was battered. This year, you should be expecting wins and more of them. And it is not a bad thing to, if they don't, to be angry with it. Because you should be.
Now, I've been showing clips while y'all talking. There's a reason for me doing this. It's always a little bit of.
Hold on, real quick. Where are you finding this fight at? I am not seeing nothing on Twitter about this Will Harris St. Brown fight. Oh, you just made that up for no reason.
No, I wish I did, but it was on PrideOfDetroit.com. It's titled "The Detroit Lions 2022 Training Camp Day 6 Observation: Physicality Intensifies in Second Padded Practice."
This happened today.
This came from Eric. I always botch his last name, so I'm not gonna do him like that.
Eric Schlitt.
I
think that's his name.
Yeah.
Was this today?
Nope. This is posted today at 4:30. And it said Detroit Lions 2022 Training Camp Day 6 Observations. So if you go there,
it's not on Twitter.
Oh, you don't?
No, I'm just saying, why is this not all over Twitter that there was a fight that happened?
Well, it never. He took a swing at him, and then I'll show you. But I'm showing y'all this clip. I'm showing y'all these clips because in the last clip you saw a great catch from number 4. I don't know who number 19 is. These numbers is going to change anyway, so I'm not even trying to learn them.
Not Galladay.
It's right, it ain't Galladay. However, I like something about it. This is the play that everybody has been talking about with Malcolm Rodriguez, who is right here, right? This is the play. And he's diagnosing it. He's right here. He's moving. Read the play, and there go Reynolds. Okay. It's great. I'm not mad at that at all. But I'm disgusted by some things because in this particular play that I first showed, let me go back up to it. Right here. Even this cornerback understood in the 5 yards that you can put hands on him. I need Okudah. I need Okudah to understand that this is a thing. Like there's some things that like dictate the route a little bit and get some hands on him. That's all I'm saying.
Who is 19?
I don't know. 19 and 4. I don't know.
Well, 4 sure.
Now, again, it just depends on how you want to view it. Let me see. Where's the other guy at? It's another clip in here that they had. Was it this one? Yeah, I think this is it. This is just who the hell is 33? Is this still the same 33? Is what I want to know. Is that the same 33? I don't want to do this too much because they try to kick me off, but y'all get my drift, man. It's definitely they're fan servicing. Now, this is the play that I'm talking about that irritated me. But even when I watched this play, I didn't just focus on this play. I focused on things in the background that many of y'all probably wasn't looking at like me. But the first thing I saw was this matchup, which is Aiden Hutchinson, his first day in pass versus Sewell. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at all of this over here too, y'all. I'm kind of a nerd. Don't judge me. But good grief. Look how far he's out there in I can see him looking at me. Right? I can see it. But I want Okudah to do a better job of reading the player if he's going to read the player. Like if you're going to play the player, do a better job of doing it. But don't give him a free release. It's
he's so rigid, man.
This has kind of annoyed me how much coverage this has got. Because don't forget, this is the first day Jeff Okudah has worn pads in over a year. The first day. One of the first plays he's coming up against. So, are we expecting him to be a lockdown corner in his first padded practice in a year? So,
but we are expecting technique, though, Anthony. We are expecting it.
I get that, but this is just one play from his first day, and everyone's using it as a bush to beat him with, and I think that's wrong. I think you need to see more of the plays there. It's not a good play by his looks, but again, context.
No, I agree. It is his first play. I think everything you said is true. But you got to put them hands on him. You got to put them paws on him. You cannot keep giving free release. When I did his film study as a rookie, it was one of the things that I noticed about him that upsetted me. You know what I mean? Just like when people want to send me the clip, of Kyle Hamilton, I'm like, this is Sewell one-on-one with this guy. And even his counter move didn't work. But they said he got a sack today. So I'm just saying it is practice. But I just want to show this because, like I said, it's something for us to see. And I'm trying my best to show y'all what I can. Now, let me see. Let me make sure I ain't forgetting nothing to leave nobody out here in the dark, people, because I want to make sure I'm being fair. I saved this one question just on purpose because I'm seeing a lot of expectations. And look, this is another good point. Okudah needs to squeeze wide receivers on the boundary, and he didn't. And that's what I'm. I learn from other people. Like that's been my whole life, and it's not just football; it's in life in general. I learn from other people's mistakes and stuff. And Deion Sanders, Darrell Reeves, the best of the best corners say, "I used to play mind games with the receiver. I pop them one play, next play I pop them again, and the third play they reach out for it, and I'm not even finna pop them."
Yeah.
Okay.
And to your point, the sideline is your friend. You push him to that side. Even in basketball, man, the sideline is your friend. Like if you're dictating them and they have to kind of run through you in order to complete their route, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a flag. So, like you said, man, those little things like that, it's like he doesn't even realize those common things right there. It's like, dude, push him to the sideline. You get 5 yards, knock him off his route. The fact that he was able to sit there and move his shoulders and dictate, okay, I'm gonna, do all that. No, man, you gotta pop him. Like, nope, I'm here. Get to the sideline. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah. So I say this question on purpose because I had someone to address this ridiculous. So, but I say this one for the end. And it's with all the love that they are now getting, okay, that they're now getting. It's been an up-down roller coaster, but they're now getting some of that love. My question is very simple with all of you. And we start this off with you, Gunner, which is simply put, what are your thoughts on this Terrell Crosby injury handling? Like the hype is there, but this is the goddamn black eye that people are now focused on. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, if it was true that they treated their players like crap, I think that it would be way more outspoken. I mean, the energy wouldn't be the way it is that you see in practice. Like, okay. I mean, when is like during the last regime, when did any players get on the field and sing "Happy Birthday" for Bob Quinn? I don't remember that happening.
No, they definitely not doing it.
No, that man blew out a candle by himself.
Yeah, listen. I don't think he took the candle. He probably thought it was a dynamite stick. You like, I mean, so ain't no telling. But yeah, it's a good point that you make. What are your thoughts on it, Anthony?
I don't know. I don't like it because I love the new management regime, and I love Terrell Crosby, and it's very hard for me to try and take sides in this one because I think there's character assassination on both sides here. I think Terrell has some truth into what he's saying, but then the stuff with the whole sarcastic thing about Brad Holmes saying bye to him, thanks for playing through the injury, all that, I think that's an exaggeration. On the flip side, I don't like how a lot of the pro, leadership fans out there have immediately gone and character assassinated Crosby. Oh, he's just a backup who's disgruntled. He never liked football, etc. He's just jealous he's not on this team. There's a lot of, forgetting about history here. Terrell Crosby came onto this team as a backup. He developed into a starter. I mean, they paid a lot of money to bring Halapoulivaati Vaitai here to take his spot. Vaitai broke his foot. Crosby came into the team. Vaitai could not win that spot back. He played really well. He's the epitome of what you want as a player. Like a backup guy drafted late who works his arse off, is a culture guy. We know he was a culture guy in this team. One of the hype guys, one of the ones who, seemed like he was the center of the locker room. And I find it hard to believe he's going to just automatically start slandering this team for no reason. So I think it's a case of there's been, it's been lost in translation. The team have believed the medical staff about what his, the medical staff has said that Crosby's lying. He's had an injury and that he's taken the mick, and Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have believed their medical guy. And then when it's come out, they've misdiagnosed him. They've fired the medical guy and got rid of him. But at that point, it's kind of too late. They kind of put their stock in the wrong opinion. And I think it's just been spiraled out of control. I think there's a bit of truth on both sides. And I just hate that it's come between, a leadership group that I love and one of the ex-players who was one of the few exceptions under Matt Patricia. And I think it's wrong to character assassinate either of them. So I just hope something is resolved with it all because I just don't like it.
Okay, that dude said, wasn't the doctor fired? I thought he was let go for something else, but I can't remember what it was.
They never said, but the timeline coincides with them misdiagnosing Crosby. They did misdiagnose him.
Okay. And Rumble, what are your thoughts on this? Because this is something that I've been reading and really I got an opinion. I don't know if it's a strong one, but it's an opinion.
Yeah, I got an opinion. I'm kind of here with Anthony. I take a little bit of what he's saying and I agree with him on that aspect. But my thing is just like black and white. I've always been that way. It's like, to me, these former players who are now coaches, you can't tell me they're not player minded. You can't tell me they're not focused on the players. But again, with the regime that was here before them, I can't say the same thing for that regime. So again, whatever injuries or whatever occurred or whatever hirings happened with that regime, again, this regime came in and was like, 90% of those guys that they have either drafted or were on those team with that regime they have all but let go. They bought him out. They cut him. They, some of them they gave a chance to try to be on this team. But I think these former players are player first mentality. They know what these guys are going through as players because they were players. So it's a character assassination on both ends. But to me, I feel like anytime you take something to the media and it's not addressed in-house, I think that's to me, that's kind of like a diva move, in my opinion. So I don't hate the guy, but I just think that with all the energy, the positivity that's going on with this regime right now and with the team, I think that's kind of a low blow for him to do that out in the open, per se, as opposed to him going to these former players who are now coaches, who are going to listen to you, who are going to address you as such, because they were players themselves. So it's unfortunate, but I hope moving forward that these players know that these coaches were former players and that they, go to them if they have any issues.
Okay. Now, I think there's always three sides to the story. And this is something that's been said too many times where it's their side, that person's side, and the truth. And I like to go with the latter. And the reality is I don't think that many of these teams are perfect. And I think that many of these people do make mistakes and question some people's heart and attitude, because this is a game built around toughness. And so when you look at that, I wonder if they truly mishandled the player in a way that led him to this way. But I can tell you this: sometimes a person's action does not line up with the intention that a person feels. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. Most recently at work, I was at work and a guy got into it with one of his clients. And so I intervened and said, hey, you know what? I said, hey, everybody's calm down. And I took the client to the side and said, hey, let me talk to you for a second. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just talk to me for a second to try to de-escalate it. Where my coworker felt that I wasn't being supportive and that I sided with the client. Now, little to my knowledge, I thought I was being supportive. But in his eyes, I was not being supportive. I undermined him, and he did not feel that was warranted, and he did not appreciate it. So I understood it. But if he took a second to stop and think of what I was doing by getting them away from each other and taking them away, because if I go and I get him and I say, hey, let me talk to him, he ain't finna back down. So I wanted to try to get somebody away, and that was the whole plan. I think when it comes to Terrell Crosby, and this again, this could just be me losing my mind. I think when it comes to Terrell Crosby felt some kind of way, because when you look at it, he came back and tried to play through the injury, and they still went out and drafted a bunch of linemen. And they added a bunch of linemen in the free agency. They were actively looking for a lineman. And the reality is he never felt that the current regime was ever going to give him a fair shot. And then he felt that they were going to do this. Thank you, Ricky Bob. He said the client is the money. You did right. I thought I did, but he didn't feel that way. But, to me, I think that his intentions may have been misled, and he just figured, you know what? Other people have spoken out about this organization before, and so let me add on to it. And it's unfortunate. However, just because they misdiagnose something, and I hate to be this person, doctors misdiagnose things all the time. I've had a doctor literally tell me that how did he word this to me? He said my leg was not broke, it was a hairline fracture, but I saw the bone sticking through the skin. I don't know how in the hell he came to that conclusion. But I can assure you that it happens in the everyday world. In fact, more people die from misdiagnosis than anything else in this entire planet, and it happens. So just food for thought. People, we have been on for an hour and 38 minutes. I have left the link up there for those who want to jump in, but I do have to get back to my parenting duties because my kids, unbeknownst to me, are still thugging on Coco Melon. So shout out to you, Coco Melon. You rock. You absolutely rock. Also, I got to do this. I know the person don't want me to do this, and I'm going to do it again at the beginning of the next time I go live. but a subscriber who appreciates what I do here, who appreciates my opening message and my closing message, told me that I didn't know it. He said, but the message you delivered was what he needed that day at that moment. And I said, well, I'm happy it can help. And he said, yeah, but I need to show you my appreciation. And I said, no, you don't need to show me nothing. It's our duty to do this. And he says, no, that's not how it works. And he says, I just want you to know that I want to do something nice for you. I said, no, you don't got to do anything. And so I met up with this person. He asked me, can he meet me? And I met up with him. And when I showed up, he had me a ticket for opening day for the Lions versus the Eagles.
Incredible. So
I will be at the Lions versus the Eagles game due to the honor of this person, who I'll leave anonymous until I can, if he wants me to say who he is. But to you, sir, thank you so much. I do appreciate your gesture. I do not do this because I'm looking for rewards or anything. I do it because I feel that it is something that I'm passionate about. I do enjoy my team, and I do enjoy helping people. I do enjoy being there for people, and I know that it just takes one person. And for that, sir, thank you. Thank you for trusting me to be there for you. Thank you for trusting me and hearing my message, even if you didn't need it in that moment. Thank you for just being there to say, you know what? It was what needed to happen at that time. So I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll get into the final thoughts. And I'm gonna bring this up on the next video. Now tomorrow, I know for a fact I'm being held over. I know. I'm going to try to still do a show, a late one if possible, but I know for a fact I'm being held over because they already have just texted me while I was doing this stream. So I know what time. Yeah, it gets bad. However, I want to go into final thoughts, starting off with you, Ghost Gunner. Get the people your final thoughts for the day.
Hey man, happy to have your show back. Happy to have football back. I'm ready to rock and roll for the season, man. Preseason right around the corner. Hell, we get the Hall of Fame game in like 2 days. Also, yes, I did read it. Also, also for those who are wondering, the bottom of the article is they talk about Hawk watching Hutchinson. I don't think there's a clip anywhere of it though that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Scroll down now. Scroll down so they can read it.
Which one?
Just scroll down. It's in the bottom paragraph. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you mean this one right here?
Yep. There, right there, middle paragraph.
Yep. It says he'll remember Banks that he'll
remember bank that one.
He'll memory bank that one. I'm telling you, Campbell said about Hutchinson getting washed out by Hawkinson. It may happen one more time, and I bet that's about it. So because he picked up things pretty quick, but listen, it's good to see. It really is. He needs that. They everything. I had a few people who was at the practice. Obviously, I was at work. I had a few people at the practice. They was like, dude, he put him on his butt. I said, oh my God, really?
We about to see a different Hawkinson this year.
Yeah, we might see some a little, but blocking is a rhythm thing. Just FYI. It's a rhythm thing. But yeah, I'm sorry. My apologies. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I know you was trying to figure it out. So here's the title: Detroit Lions 2022 training. Okay. All right. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
All right. On to you, Anthony, my Roar the Lion UK. Anthony, listen, I'm planning on hitting the UK up. This is how I'm gonna do this. And that's the thing. I have no clue how I'm gonna do it. I gotta do this where I have enough time off. So that way, if they cancel my flight, I'm not just stuck at the airport like that dude that been stuck there for years that would end up being played in a movie by Tom Hanks. So when that time comes, good sir, I will be hitting you and the rest of the crew up so y'all can kind of show me things that the average tourist would not see.
Hey, Luke, you are more than welcome here anytime you want. You will be treated like royalty. So you don't need to worry about a thing if you come here. So, it's as I think, you're going to go on to my final thoughts in a minute, but I just want to say, I really love that story you just told then about, you're getting the tickets for the opening day and that. So, I mean, I just want to say, look, you deserve it. because of what you do here with your show, with this fan base. I mean, we wouldn't have a podcast over here if it wasn't for you. You were one of the first people from over in the States who know you didn't have to do anything. You came over, you embraced us as a channel, you let us come on here. Your followers, some of them became our followers. We were able to grow because of that. And, that's just the type of person you are. You just give and give and give, and you deserve all this good stuff in life. You ask me why I want to stay up late and do this all the time. I love coming to do this with you. And, I would not have it any other way. So, I just want to say you earned that. And, you just do such a tremendous job. And, I want you to know that. So,
well, thank you so much. I didn't even want to take the tickets, but he insisted. He was like, no, I need you to take these. I'm like, but I don't need them. He said, no, we're gonna watch the game and we're gonna enjoy it. I'm like, thank you. My job, all I do is help people. So it's mind blowing for me. But again, I'm more thankful that he was willing to trust in the message that was delivered at the beginning and at the end of the video. And that's what stood out for me. Now, you got to tell the people how they can find you, because I think even if I wasn't around, y'all was going to still blow up, because I was so happy to hear a untainted perspective. Untainted, because we have some media locally that can't help themselves, okay? And so their whole job is to create the shock effect. But you guys came, and I was so impressed with how much you knew about this team. And I'm like, wow, this is a real thing. So tell the people how they can find you. I'm pretty sure they know who you are, but for the new one, because I am streaming with Man Hour, so that means I am also on their platform streaming, as well as my channel, as well as Facebook and a host of other services. I think everything minus Twitch. So, and I think they're trying to set up the Twitch for me soon. So we'll see how that go. But tell the people where they can find Roar of the Lions UK and the family.
You can find us all. We're all over now. Find us at Roar of the Lions UK. You'll find us on YouTube. You'll find us on Twitch. You'll find us on Twitter. All through that. Just search the name. There are not many UK-based Detroit Lions podcasts out there, so you can't really miss us. But now, like I say, if you want to hear a different perspective from guys over the ocean, then come and give us a listen. Or just this community is wonderful. The way it's embraced us, and we passed like 25,000 listens the other day. We used to get 6 when we first started doing this. And like I say, that was like the 5 of us listening back to the podcast, and we had 1 fan at the time. But because of guys like you and that who've embraced us in this community, it's just wonderful and it's amazing, and we love having all of you across with us. And like I said, I love to come back across onto these shows and do them with you. So you can find us at 100% UK, but you will find us all over, because we just love doing this. So. Again, don't ever stop what you're doing, Luke.
And it is linked in the description. It's 100% linked on every video. Try me if you want to. On every video since I've found them, they have been linked on every single video. So if you can't find them, shame on you. It says, but thankful Luke, it could have been catch up. Man, we don't do no catch ups around here. I think we're gonna leave that out there in the wind. Y'all be trying to get me indicted. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
So when we're introducing you to British cuisine, we're not allowed to use ketchup. Is that the rule?
The rule is simply put. This is Team Mustard over here. I'll do some mustard. I'll do some relish. You know what I'm saying? I'll do ranch. If you got fishes,
what type of mustard do you have there then? Because we have like English mustard, French mustard.
We got all the same ones, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I tried my first English mustard before, and I was like, "How do y'all eat this? It's so strong."
Yeah, I don't eat it.
It was listen. You talking about your sinuses being open? I smelled the Rocky Mountains. I was like, "What the hell?"
If you get the chance, Luke, try French mustard. That's beautiful on a hot dog.
Okay, I'm gonna try French next. But that English mustard, I don't know why what they going through.
We're larger than life and pack a punch, Luke. Food is just like us as people. So.
I feel like that English mustard was an old medical remedy back in the day, and they was like, "We're just gonna keep eating it. This is good for you." So
hey, that's not even the worst, Luke. You'll if you ever come over here, we'll introduce you to some stuff that'll scar you for life. So.
oh my god. And last but certainly not least, the hostess of the Moses who comes in and have fun and is keeping it 100. My man's Lions Rumble 81. What do you get to people for your final thought?
Man, again, Anthony hit on everything I was going to hit on, but as always, man, it's a pleasure coming in here, rapping with you guys, rapping to the beat, talking Lions. Love where their community has went as well. Thanks to you, Luke G, for introducing me to them. Man, I cannot wait for this season to begin. And again, I'm going to be streaming more as well. So I hope you guys will open your doors up to me if you get an invite. But I'm looking forward to doing more this year within this community. I'm out here in Vegas. I'm trying to kind of, establish something out here on the West Coast. I'm on Twitter. I'm just trying to be more involved with this community because I've seen you guys just take off, and it's such a rewarding thing when you bring up your stories that you did about the anonymous person gifting those tickets to you. I think we need more people like you in this world, and more people like Anthony who just devote themselves to something bigger than themselves. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the chat as always. They always keep it a buck with us. Love interacting with you guys as well. And yeah, man. Thank you, Luke, man. We were worried about you, man. We had an APB out for you.
Dude, listen, the job has been on my head. I can tell you this much right now. I know last week I worked 78 hours. And because we had an interesting week as a whole. Analytics Den, shout out to him. He says, "Yo, I'm the only able to say this. Hutch has played versus starters. I don't think I said he didn't play against starters. I said Melko Rodriguez, all the hype that's coming from him was not with starters. It says versus starters for some time, and his sack today were not from backups. What I read said that it came against the second team. If you're saying it was not backups, great. I read that it was not. That was against the second team. So, if you're telling me that that's wrong, then I'll correct myself. And he got him a sack in practice. Good. That's great. I want to hear that. Still stand by my stance. 10 sacks this season. That's the minimum. Me, people. I got to end the show on a good note. Okay. Sorry I've been gone so long, but I plan to come back, and I'm gonna have to do some pre-recorded stuff to kind of keep it in there so I can hit on topics more faster. But today's positive quote comes from the internet. I never know who say these things. I really don't. I wish that they were more open to putting the author's name on this stuff. But simply put, it says the only person I'm afraid of is myself. I'm going to repeat it again. The only person I'm afraid of is myself. I don't think many of you ever took a second to just address yourself and take time out to understand what is the real cause for you not hitting on certain goals. It's you. It's you. You're constantly in a fight to beat yourself. You're constantly challenging yourself to do something different. Take a second to ask yourself one question. If you're afraid to do it, you might be headed in the right direction. So why not go for it? If it's not going to kill you, if it comes with a little bit of risk, why not challenge yourself to be bigger? The biggest bully on this planet has always been myself. I can find 1,000 reasons why I don't want to do something until I realize that I'm simply just beating myself at my own game. I am opening up my eyes to so many things that I never thought that I knew. And I know that there are so many people out there like me who are supposed to go to the gym, who were supposed to do better with their finances, who said they were going to call this person or call that person, and they just keep putting it off because their self is the thing in their way. I'm asking you to beat him. Beat him at his own game. Challenge him to be better than he was. Push him to do things that he never did. That when uncomfortability set in, tell it that it is what you've been waiting for, because that's when you're at your best. One of my favorite lines came out of a movie from Batman where Bane told him, "I was born in the dark. You merely play in it." People, your breaking point has never been reached. And it should never come close to being reached because the greatest parts of you have never been accessed because you're too afraid of yourself. It's time to get out of your own fear and get into your own confidence and your own ability to know that you can do it. Take that advice to the bank. It's a check that will never bounce. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And if you don't do nothing else, if you can't find another way to get it done, simply go and check out my man, Manhour, who came in the building to show some love. Shout out to the people. And if you're going to do nothing else, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out. See you guys late tomorrow, God willing.